Hi, I'm Shyla. I'm going to UC Berkeley studying business in the Haas School of Business. As for some of the schools I was accepted into, I was accepted into UC Santa Barbara Data Science, as well as UIUC, Purdue, University of Wisconsin-Madison, a few others, and a few other wait lists as well. And so I went to Basis Independent Silicon Valley in San Jose. It's a very rigorous and academic school. So I took 14 APs total throughout high school, and some notable ones. So for math, I took AP Calc, AB, BC, as well as linear algebra, AP Stats. And humanities side, I took AP Lang, AP Microeconomics, AP Macroeconomics, as well as AP Research and AP Seminar. So I definitely took a lot of APs, as well as a lot of other honors courses as well. So I took like honors bio, honors chem, honors English. I applied to around 35 colleges, which is a lot. I would not recommend applying to that many. So I guess that's like one big advice I have. So I actually applied to a lot of safeties that I wouldn't really consider going to. So I would advise anyone to really like make sure that every college that they're applying to is somewhere that they can really picture themselves going to, because that can save a lot of time and money as well. As for like some of my main extracurriculars and what I wrote about in my essays, so I did DECA for around 4 years, and I had a leadership position for 3 years, as well as I did debate all 4 years of high school. I had a few internships with startups in my area and online, and I did some volunteer and policy work. So I did a lot of work around mental health advocacy because that was an issue I was passionate about, and I tried to really apply what I'd learned in like classes, like I took AP Computer Science A and AP Computer Science Principles, so kind of taking like my technical skills and combining it with business skills to create. So I created a mental health chatbot, and so kind of like using what I learned in school and through summer programs to kind of create like my own initiatives. So I did that, and I think colleges really like to see commitment and dedication in what you do. So not only being a member of a club, but trying to impact it in a positive way, whether that's through like a leadership position or just being like a attentive member and, you know, providing feedback or whatever it is in the club. And I would say Success Koach really helped me throughout my college application process. So I worked with Nikki a lot with my essays as well as her Paul. And so I think one of the main things that Nikki helped me with was to go deeper in my essays, because when I first showed her my essays, she said it was very surface level, and specifically for a personal statement, you need to go much deeper and you need to have like, you need to write feelings, and that was something that I was not used to before. So she really helped me to do that, and I think she was really pivotal in helping my personal statement turn into what it was. And I think also initially when I showed my personal statement to her Paul, he said it was a kitchen sink. So there was like a lot of different ideas. It definitely had a lot of work to do, but they helped me a lot in like solidifying my story, as well as like adding personal details into that. I think another thing that was helpful was getting like the structure of essays down. So there's like an essay like called like the why major essay, and a lot of colleges ask this, which is basically explaining why you want to go into the major that you want to go into. And a lot of this can be reused for different essays because it's kind of the same story, but you have to just change the specifics about the school. So Nikki really helped me kind of solidify the structure of this essay. And so since I was applying to a lot of schools, it was helpful in having like an overall structure, and then I added like specifics to each school. I like wasn't exactly sure that I liked the personal statement, and you guys like saying that it needed work was kind of a revelation, because I had like known inside that it wasn't my best. And So yeah, I think it was good that you guys pointed that out, although it was hard to basically have to restart in like pretty late on in the process. I think it was good that I did though, because it goes to every college that you apply to, so it was well worth it. But it was hard to kind of have to restart, but I think Nikki helped me throughout that process because she helped me with the brainstorming as well. And kind of like during our meetings, she would ask follow-up questions. Like after I would say something, then she would be like, "What do you mean by this?" Or and kind of point me in the right direction that way. So that was helpful. And also, the meetings were recorded, so I would go back and look at the transcriptions and I would look at like the language she used, because I thought that was a good way of phrasing it. So I kind of incorporated that in my essays as well. In the end, it was helpful to me because I had like multiple perspectives, and at the end, I was able to make my own decision about how I wanted the essay to turn out. If you do things that you really enjoy, it's easier to write an essay about that, and it's more personal that way, rather than thinking about what would look good on a college application. So that's a big thing. And secondly, just getting involved in your school. So I think clubs are a really great way to not only meet people, but also be involved with your school. And I think if you have an activity, try to continue it for as long as you can, because especially with clubs, like you only get a leadership position after you've been in the club for a while. Like you're not going to get it in your first year. So being involved in these activities for a long period of time and trying to get some sort of leadership position is helpful. I think for business applicants, internships are really important. There are kind of summer programs, like there's MIT LaunchX, there's Lean Gap, these kind of known programs that are for business students. So you could apply to those, as well as just any startups that you find interesting. Most of them could be hiring like summer interns. So doing that is also helpful. One of the teachers that I asked was my honors chemistry teacher, and I had gone to their office hours almost every single day, and I feel like that was a really important part in the recommendation because it showed that I was trying, and even if I wasn't, getting the grade that I wanted initially, I was putting in the work to do that, which is important. And so one thing that I had heard was, even if you don't have like a good grade or like a A in the class, like if you are putting in the work and you're going to office hours, then that's really what matters, because the teacher is going to write about your character more than like the actual grade, because the colleges already see the grade on the transcript. So really making sure that you have a connection and that you've built with the teacher. So make sure that you have a list of colleges that you want to apply to, as well as the major that you want to apply, as well as doing some research about what specific classes are interesting or clubs, and make sure you have that really organized, like in an Excel spreadsheet or a Google Doc or some sort. Like make sure it's all really organized, because it's going to help you when you actually have to write the essays. Because for me, I was like having to do research about the school and writing the essay, which was a lot of work. But if you do like the research during the summer, that's much easier to be able to write the essay later on, because some of the prompts come out later. I think secondly, starting on your personal statement during the summer would help. I started during the summer, but I had to like almost scrap it. But I think it does help if you start to get like some people to look at it initially, or at least have a few ideas of what you would want to write about. So yeah, I think summer is just personal statement and college research. Just get those nailed down. My parents were involved. They read most of my essays, but I would say it was kind of just like getting feedback from an older person and how my essay reads, because sometimes like when you write something, like what I was trying to say wasn't coming across. And so getting someone else's perspective on what they are taking out of the essay is important. But they never really like told me what to write or changed anything on their own. So that's something definitely parents should not do, because it's supposed to come from like a student's perspective. So just helping with like ideas maybe and grammar is what parents can do, but not really like the big ideas and the story. I think Harpal and Nikki and your coaches are better for that.